Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform, to become your spiritual server. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to keep that moniker. I might change it. Not that I'm going anywhere as far as the Aquarian Adepts goes, but I'm actually trying to figure, how do I want to, brand this and bring this forward to you, this information. How I want to present myself to you. And not that I think that being your spiritual server is a bad thing. I don't think so. But, I'm also trying to, this is an interesting time right now with the Venus retrograde where we really are looking at ourselves in a deeper aspect. And it's, we're really being questioned and brought up, or this information is kind of bubbling to the surface of where and where not we may need to just make changes in our life, and little quirks and little snaps here and there, and then things can start to run more fluid, or at least we'll begin to feel that way, because we have a lot of energy that's been stuck in this Scorpio energy for a while now, and now we're really starting to loosen it up. That's why we have such an influx of information right now. So and it's interesting that I even started off like that. I just started really going right into it, guys. So yeah, that's just, I guess, what's happening right now in this video. But this is your daily reading for today, Tuesday, October the 16th of 2018. I really do appreciate you joining me on this video. And today, as far as major aspects, we don't really seem to have a whole lot going on, at least initially. But if you begin to peel back the layers, you begin to see the profundity of today. For the most part, we do have the moon that's going to be in Capricorn, and it's going to be moving from about 16 degrees to about 28 degrees. So it's going to cover really the last half of Capricorn energy. And it's going to make its conjunction to Pluto first. And actually, for at least here in the Western world, most of us were asleep for this conjunction. So it was definitely going to be playing out in your dreams where there's some type of collapse that you are really becoming more emotionally aware of, and it's really a spot for you to really heal and to really bring forward into, it's an opportunity for us to be able to look towards the future. It's giving us this opportunity to develop this, I want to say, emotional intelligence and strength, and this ability to be adaptable to what happens, to allow ourselves to move with the tide, so we may allow new things to grow. Because sometimes we keep things stuck, right? We keep things stuck and we keep things stubborn, and there's nothing per se wrong with that. There's a reason why we have that energy. Believe me, you're talking to a Scorpio right here, so I understand that energy, right? But because Pluto is, of course, a ruler of Scorpio, right? So this is going to give us an opportunity to sort of really see how we can rise from the ashes of this destruction. How can we rise from the ashes from this collapsing maybe tradition that we may have, or this collapsing way to keep stability, this collapsing sense of control. But this is going to give us an opportunity to really develop some incredible emotional strength and courage, and ability to show their vulnerabilities. It's also going to square up to the sun, and then this is going to present to us this challenge, but really a great lesson. Almost, I was going to say, this is going to present us this really great question that now then this energy arises from this square to the sun, which is in Libra. Of course, Libra is looking at, the sun in Libra is looking at how to try and balance and harmonize things right now. The sun is not really happy in Libra right now. And the sun, it's in its fall position when in Libra, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the sun in Libra is bad. It just means that it expresses its energy and strength in a different fashion. So with the sun being in Libra, making this square off to the moon, now the moon doesn't necessarily like to be in Capricorn, so there's going to be this interesting compromise between the moon and the sun today, where the moon's going to sort of be feeding the sun back information about how to really be able to see into the future, how to determine which people, groups that they are associated with can actually come along with them on the journey. But I think what's going to happen is that we have to realize that the only way we're going to know that is if we just start moving in the first place. We have to actually, choose our path and then go for it. And a lot of us may be experiencing that we could be doing many things right now, many different kinds of people, because we have many different interests. There's so many things that we can do. We don't and if you even look at the cards, and I'm gonna kind of cut the astrology just for a second, but if you look at the cards, we have the Seven of Cups, the Eight of Cups. We also have the card of choosing your path, which is saying that all is possible. And I think what's going to happen today, because continuing on with the astrology, we have the moon also going to be sextiling Jupiter, which is also Scorpio. But here's the interesting thing about this, it kind of ties this all in. Jupiter is at 25 degrees of Scorpio, so it is out of shadow period right now, which means that there is this new expansion coming forth when it comes to these deeper emotional currents that Scorpio energy represents. The psychic faculties really waking up, really tapping into these deeper senses, tapping into the spirit world more, becoming more acquainted with our darkness, but also embracing it and realizing the strength that comes from that light source. Because a lot of people, it's funny, people like to think that the dark doesn't have light, but how do we not know that the darkness is not just dark light? We don't really know that, right? And I'm just, I don't know, that might be some of that a cold Scorpio energy coming through, but that's what happens, especially considering my energy. Pluto conjunct Mars conjunct the Sun in Scorpio, so this is right up my alley and stuff. And it can be a weird time to deal with all these energies because there is this darkness that is kind of hanging. But what wraps this well together is the fact that Mercury, I think it's an interesting tidbit how Mercury is going to meet up with the spot where Venus retrograded initially. Venus began its retrograde in Scorpio at 10 degrees, and Mercury will actually reach this spot at the end of the day. It'll actually reach it. Down to the solar minute is off by only a couple of minutes. So it's literally like we're stepping off a bridge into the new world. And I think mentally we're kind of going to be there first. And that can be scary because now we have to navigate the waters that Jupiter has gone through. And this period between 10 degrees of Scorpio and where Jupiter is right now, this 25th degree, we're really going to begin to unravel really how we are expanding into the new world, how we are expanding more into knowing who we are and realizing that we have many paths that we can choose. We realize that there are many things that we can do. That's what the Seven of Cups is. It's about this abundance that we have, this abundance of how many currents we can really tap into and flow through. But what we have to realize, what we have to keep in mind during this and keep in heart is we still have to be true to who we are, and we have to be willing to leave situations, or we have to be willing to cut certain aspects out of our life that no longer resonate with us. And that's what the Eight of Cups is. So it's interesting how we have the Seven of Cups here, and we have the Eight of Cups, which just seems like, we get this great positive, there's so much abundance, we could choose our own path, all is possible. But then the Eight of Cups comes in, and it kind of puts a damper on the mood, saying that we may have to separate ourselves from situations and walk away from things that may have seemingly have been giving us this sense of really being alive, but now it might be draining our energy. And today is going to kind of present a great opportunity, though, to realize that all is still possible, and how incredibly liberating our energy and this vibe is really beginning to show itself, and how it always has been this way. But now we're really going to begin to sense more of the sense of freedom, especially as the moon comes closer and closer to Aquarius. It's going to sort of initiate this need to escape by the end of the night. So as the moon reaches the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius. But today is also going to present itself as a great opportunity for you to realize that you are stepping into the next chapter of your life, the next chapter of your saga, the next chapter of your legend, because you are a legend. You are a legend. Like, we all are legends. Some of us, and it's interesting, I thought about this yesterday. It's like, they say, I think the saying is, many are called, few are chosen. And I was like, that's definitely has some truth to it. But I reversed it to ask myself if the reverse was true. And what if many are chosen, but few are called? And that's kind of an interesting notion. It's a great notion because it does unify us, because we realize that we are all, every single one of us, are God's chosen people. Every one of us, including the animals and the plants, because we're human, Hue meaning color. So we are all, every single one of us, God's chosen people. But then what if few of us are called? And that's interesting, because then this activates this hyper awareness within you, that you really can choose your own path, that everything really is possible, because you are connected to that infinite source. You are connected to your authenticity and your truth. And yes, and like I said, we have so many opportunities, so much to expand into, so much to explore. And yes, it's going to require us to make some cuts. It's going to require some things to be broken down. I think the beauty and like the blessing in disguise here is that I think the Eight of Cups energy is really just the moon conjuncting Pluto. And this is really, and this means that at least for a good portion of the world, we were experiencing this energy in our sleep. So it had something to do with our dreams. So you definitely want to look at your dreams. If you can recall your dreams from last night, that might give you an indication of what could be collapsing or what could be transforming, because things can also break down but transform. So it's not necessarily that things are just completely done. You may have a job situation that you find is not ideal. You may find a relationship that you're in that is not ideal. That doesn't mean that that person is going to be completely cut off. But what may be cut off is this notion that there's only one way. But you choose your path. All is possible. You choose your destiny. And it's like, I still definitely do believe in destiny and fate, but I do think it sort of updates as we make our decisions here, as we take the actions that we take. It sort of updates, and the more you get to kind of know yourself and stuff like that, you'll begin to really see that it really is your destiny, it really is fate. So then it makes you wonder, is everything already predetermined? But you notice though that as you continue to act in this way, as you continue to move forward in this way, realizing that all is possible, realizing that you can do it, realizing that, there may be some heavy times, some heavy rains. That does not mean that you cannot absolutely, transform that situation. The sun will come out again, things will return to peace and calm. The sun will come out again. So, in the number wise, we do have 7 plus 8, which is 15, 1 plus 5, which is 6. 6 is the number of Venus, actually. So, the sun is going to be teaching us this really important lesson today on the integration of these two aspects. The integration and harmony and bringing together of these two aspects, where we want to be ourselves, but we want to be with other people. We want to be ourselves unapologetically and authentically, but we also need people. We need each other. So how can we create and begin to structure a society that really begins to allow us to connect with each other on a way where we don't experience as much as the strife as we feel right now? I think we're unraveling and stuff, and I think there is such a thing as like a paradise or a utopia and stuff. But I think also what we're going to learn today is that if we didn't have these certain pains in our life, if we didn't have these certain wounds in our life, they do help to make us who we are right now. So sometimes, yeah, we don't go a certain way, or we don't choose a certain path because that door might have opened up an experience that hurt us in some way, and then it makes us timid to want to open up a door that looks similar to that. But I want you to think of literally like Monsters Incorporated right now, how they have like the door shredders and stuff like that. It may look like a similar door, but it's not. So you don't have to be afraid to move forward or try again or to keep working at it because the door looks similar. Shred that door, okay? Just shred it, and you will find your way. I promise you, you will find your way. That is it for your reading today, my beautiful brothers and sisters. It went a little bit longer than I usually do, but that's okay. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And if you'd like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can follow the link in the description below to theaquarianadepts.com. And always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward. Stay focused and Yahoo! Smile often.